Hey, Bruin fans, this is David Singleton, and you're listening to the Once Bruin Show. Go Bruins.
You're listening to the What's Bruin Show, part of the What's Bruin Show network, with your hosts, Jake Berryfield and Mike Regalado, and occasionally some friends, talking all things UCLA sports. And now, it's time for the What's Bruin Show.
Well, hello and welcome to What's Bruin. I am your host, Jake Merrifield, and I'm joined by my good buddy, Mike Regalado from Bruin Report Online. And I don't know why his little drop's not working.
Big applause, Big Mike.
Well, there's one of them.
There we go.
Iron Mike.
Hey, Mike.
What's up, yo? How you doing?
Good, man. So it's the What's Bruin Show on the What's Bruin Show network. And thank you for your support. We have a fun show for you today in which we're going to talk about the UCLA schedule as a whole. We're going to talk about the Utah's game, or the UCLA's game that will be against those darn Utes that we're going to be, it's going to feel like we're back in the Pac-12 for a minute.
What is a Ute?
Pac-12 after
Did you
dark.
say Utes?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's going to be at 8 o'clock. It's going to be way too late. We're going to get out of the Rose Bowl way too late. And we got a call, we got a tweet, we got an email to get through. And then we also, bearing the lead a little bit, we have a really nice interview with a wonderful guest from Utah to tell us all about how Utah is going to mash our Bruins into tiny little bits, which I think was his perspective. And by the way, is he entitled to that perspective?
Oh, hell yeah.
Especially based on, I don't know, history in the last 5 years. Yeah, sure.
That's 15.
That's 10 years. Sure, fine, yeah. So it's okay. He can, we can have our opinions. He can have his opinions. But good guest on the show tonight, and that is none other than Josh Bennet of the Utah Blockcast, powered by KSL Sports. So, hey, Mike, are you ready to get on with this darn show?
Yes, but Jake, I think you forgot something else very important.
Oh, yeah. There's a few things. Number one, on the Patreon or on the Substack, you can support us, whatsbruinshow@gmail.com, patreon.com/whatsbruinshow, or just whatsbruinshow.com for how much, Mike?
$2.
Just a couple bucks a month. You can help send the What's Bruin Show into the future, and we appreciate your support at What's Bruin Show and all the different social media thingies, the Instagram, the threads, the Twitters, and all that stuff. And, of course, we have a YouTube show, which we just put the show on the YouTube with a slideshow, and it might evolve sometime soon, or it might not. We'll see. I'm experimenting with stuff. But that you just search What's Bruin Show on YouTube, and you look for the blue and gold stuff, not the stupid black and yellow stuff. And then finally, we have a hotline, 805-399-4WBS. Sucker and Troy. And I actually crashed their show last night, putting little messages on their little live show on YouTube. And Alicia screwed up her saying, suck it to our show, which I'm not going to say it. So you can't chop that, Alicia. Michael, I'm not going to say it. So screw you guys. But anyways, 805-399-4WBS, Second Reign of Troy. Thank you. And we do have a call tonight. So let's get to that call, and then we'll get on with some other stuff.
Jake.
Yes.
The most important thing.
What?
You are missing.
What am I missing? Did I miss everything? What did I miss?
12 years and about a week ago.
Okay, whatever. Thank you, Mike. It's fun.
I was in your backyard.
Yes.
Listening to you and Bill bitch about UCLA football, as you have done for however many years we've known each other before that. And it's funny because you both argue about a certain subject and somehow come to the same conclusion, but I think it's just the fact that y'all just like arguing.
We do.
And that's when I thought, and I turned to you guys, I was like, I need to record this. We need to make a podcast. And you both were like, what the F is a podcast?
Yeah.
And I was like, let me tell you, it is the future of sports radio.
And now it's the past.
And now it's the past. And now it's blown past us.
Yes, it's okay.
But Jake, 12 years we've been doing this. How freaking nerdy are we?
We are very
swear to
nerdy.
God. We've evolved. We've gone in different directions. We've added, we've subtracted, but we're still here.
We are. And I would like to say that's definitive proof that I win the argument against one William Henry Shirley III. Or
you outlasted
it's
him.
definitive proof that he's smarter than both of us.
We could go that way too, yeah.
But I'm going to take the first.
Hey, ChatGPT,
Former, not
who
the
won
other.
this argument?
Jake did, obviously. Okay,
Yeah,
very good.
right.
Well,
Happy 12 years, Jake. That's pretty insane / cool / what are we doing?
Mike,
But
it is pretty nutty, and I do appreciate it, and thank you very much for your dedication and support as well, my brother. And let's
Hells
get
yeah.
through this 12th season of UCLA football. And Can we make it a nice one?
I think it'll be better than the 11th.
Make it a nice
season.
one. God.
Well, we're not calling for the end of days, end of podcast days with a doom clock.
Yet.
I think if UCLA is 0-4 going into Penn State,
God.
we might have.
I'm gonna tell you right now. We've been on for 12 years. If they're 0-4, this show is off the air.
We're done.
I quit.
Screw this.
I am lighting this pot. I'm not going to light my roadcaster on fire, but I'm going to find something in here that symbolizes the show. I'm going to light on fire, and we're going to be done.
So this is on
you.
Mark
my words. Sean Foster.
This is on you, Deshaun Foster.
Nico
to keep this
Yamalava.
going.
You guys.
Tino Sinceri.
Better freaking, hold up your end of the bargain.
Malloy.
It's not a high bar. All we need is not 0-4. Okay, can you do that for me, Nico?
Hells yeah.
How about you, Burger?
This is a tasty burger.
How about you, Jet?
I think that's one of our best drops.
Can we get this guy to catch some passes? And a lot of Mike, I heard a terrible bit of slander and rumor that this guy wasn't just splitting uprights on a regular basis. Tell me those rumors are untrue. Oh, Mike, shut up!
He had a bad day.
One bad day.
I did see him nail a 47-yard field goal. So there's that.
We're gonna be okay. All right. With that being said, Mike, let's go through the hotline again. 805-399-4WBS. Second Rate of Troy. And we have listener Leo. By the way, Leo, guess what? I did. Right now, Leo, I'm going to make you jealous. Right now, I'm sitting across from one Mike Regalado from Bruin Report Online. I know that makes you very jealous. But also, Leo, and I don't want you to fall off your treadmill right now, but I also had dinner and breakfast with one Jorge Olmos over the weekend. And that was quite a thing.
Really? Where's he been?
He's been in
been in hiding.
The ghetto by the sea, which is San Pedro.
Where the ghetto meets the sea.
Where the ghetto meets the sea. Yeah. So anyways. All right. So Leo's got a call for us, and I don't know if he's doing it running from his treadmill, but here he is.
Hey guys, it's Leo from Long Beach. Getting excited for Saturday's game at the Rose Bowl. It's nice to start the season with a home game. As I get ready for Saturday, I'll catch UCLA's Utah games on YouTube from 2022, 2013, those victories, and I'll take out my garden flag, put it on the front of my house, show some Bruin pride. So wondering what you guys do as you guys lead up to the game. Have a great show. Thanks. Go Bruins.
Leo, thank you very much. This is a great time of year for everybody. As
Go Bruins, right? Four's up.
Everybody tries to play that one song. It's the most wonderful time of the year around Christmas. No, this is the most wonderful time of the year. We got football, baby.
That's right.
We got a little bit of a taste. Last Saturday with week 0 with 5 games, I believe. Stanford and Hawaii had a very comical game. We saw a little bit of UNLV, UCLA's week 2 opponent. They came out ahead just barely against Idaho State, whoever the hell they played up there. Yeah, we are fully in it, baby. We are within field goal range of the season.
Answer Leo's question. What are some of your rituals? I know one that if you don't think of it, I'll tell you what yours is. But do you have any other rituals heading into the season? You've already done it. You do this ritual not
probably
a week before. You do this ritual like a month before.
Yeah, like I do stuff unconsciously. Any actual, maybe not rituals that I'm aware of, but I did. I did do a Spaces yesterday where I said that I'm nerding out because it's game week, so I'm actually doing my game week articles for Bruin Report Online.
Yeah,
I'm just nerding the F out, just learning about these teams, and that's the great thing. Week in and week out. Obviously, you have to know your opponent, as we will get into in a later segment today. But I'm just I wouldn't say it's a tradition or a ritual, but it kind of is.
You also go through the tradition of buying all those magazines.
You know what's weird?
The Phil Stills and all that stuff, the Athlons.
Like the last 2-3 years, Phil Steele, the reach, from bookstores.
You're not seeing them?
It shrank. And so the last 3-4 years, the only place that I really knew concrete that would have Phil Steele year in and year out was the Barnes & Noble at the Glendale, what is it, the Americana?
Yeah.
And I would always get my Lindy's or Athlon or whatever from Vroman's in Pasadena. Vroman's, I don't know what's going on. I love my Vroman's, and I know they've been going through some tough times, but even up until like 3 weeks ago, did not have any of the magazines. They all had the fantasy football, NFL previews and all that. Nothing college football. But anyway, print is not dead, ladies and gentlemen. And that is a off-season,
Ritual.
early camp ritual. Yeah, definitely, because I am on top of that. That's based. I wouldn't say it's kind of a guide going through the season, just based on someone having all the stuff in front of you for every freaking single team. But that is a good one actually.
Yeah, and Leo, I just get into my t-shirt rotation a little more with the Bruin stuff more in the football season than I obviously do during the regular season. My flags, we have flags out on the front of our house year long, one for me, one for my daughter at Berkeley, and one for my daughter at Santa Barbara now. So those are always out front, and then I have the license plate frame, all that nonsense. But certainly when it gets into the fall and you start feeling the games, my rituals kind of go towards the seeing if I can get to the Rose Bowl as few minutes before actual kickoff as possible with my partner Phil, and we get in there and we get out of there as quickly as we can. But things around that. But yeah, we're all excited. It's awesome, and we can't wait for the season. Hopefully, it's a good season.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen if it's 0-4, Mike?
Shutting it down, people.
Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. I don't know why this thing stopped working again. It's so dumb. Anyways, Mike, let's get to the Brookfield. No. Wait, we had a tweet as well, right?
Yes. Yeah, let's go to that really quickly because we put it out there on the What's Bruin Show Twitter, X, whatever the frick it's called, at What's Bruin Show. We asked a question, if you have any comments or questions or statements or whatnot. Who is this? Fours Up Forever, Mr. Jesse Garcia. He said, who do you believe will score the first Bruin touchdown this year? And I did answer this on the Twitters. I said, it's going to be Nico Iamaleava to Quasi Gilmer for a 40-yard touchdown reception.
It's very
to be
specific.
more specific, I'm going to be even more specific. It's going to be a corner route where Quasi is battling with his defensive back and just jumps up above the dude, grabs it one-handed, brings it down into his well-formed breasts and comes down, tumbling out into the back of the end zone, feet firmly planted for the 6 points
at least
first touchdown of the 2025 UCLA football season. I said it. Jake, what do you think is going to happen?
Well-formed breasts. What are we doing there?
These dudes are ripped, dude, and
that is true.
And it's not gender specific here.
Okay, Mike. Jeez, why do you gotta make it weird, bro? That's the thing. All right.
Hello.
This is my prediction.
It's me.
Who tweeted the thing about who's going to score the thing?
What was that again?
Who tweeted the thing about who's going to score the thing?
Jesse Garcia, Fours Up Forever.
Well, Jesse Garcia, Fours Up Forever. This is what I have to say to you is who's going to score the first Bruin points. I'm excited to see them.
Yeah.
The Jets going to take one to the house of some unknown length.
I was going to say.
I'm going to say
from how and from where?
25 plus.
Okay.
Right up the middle. Boom.
So it's going to be a
done. Roasted.
Nice.
My next question for you, Mike, was you just gave this. Yeah, I'm going to say it specifically. Roasted Utes. That's right. You're going to take it right through the middle there, Utes. It's going to go for a touchdown. The Jet. Mike, you didn't name a team. I'm wondering, are you worried that they're not going to score until like New Mexico? Are they going to score that? Is Quasi going to score that touchdown?
It's going to be against Utah.
Against
it's going to be
Northwestern?
against Utah.
You mean, geez,
we know who we're playing, Jake.
Mike, you did not say it. I can't take anything with you from granted. Like, I don't know.
It's going to be at the end of the first quarter.
What's your score?
It's going to be at the end of the first quarter. It's going to be at the end of the very first quarter against Utah.
Okay. Fine.
In Rice Eccles West.
Rice Eccles West. I don't like that.
They've
It's so
owned
terrible.
Rose
I'm
Bowl.
not looking forward to that. All right. And then lastly, one of the all-time What's Bruin Show fans and contributors and question askers, it's Nancy. She is the
Nancy.
yeah. She's out there in the Inland Empire, one of the big wigs in the Inland Empire Bruin Network. Mike, this is addressed to you, not to me. So I'm going to be Nancy right now. Mike,
What?
how are you feeling after the minimal practice? Seems like Nico was on target. Who were his targets? That's the first question. Although she didn't give any question marks. They're all periods. But anyways, that's her question.
Maybe she had statement questions.
Seems like Nico was on target. Who were his targets? Answer.
It was weird. If you didn't read my practice report from Bruin Report Online, long story short, it was basically a walkthrough. It was basically a game day walkthrough, and even the both offense and defense took turns on the field. We even heard someone call media timeout, so they were literally going through a game day simulation walkthrough. And every time the offense had the ball, they didn't, except for their first. I'm going to say the very, very first period where they were on the field. That was the only time where the defense was going against them. But the defense would pull back and let the running backs run through the line, or let the receivers catch balls in space in between the coverage. The rest of the practice, it was just the offense. So we saw a lot of balls going to Mikey Matthews, Quasi Gilmer, Hudson Habermill.
I want to see Mikey Matthews.
I do too. I'm loving the hey, we might have to pay Calamoni, but we got all your players. We got all your players. We
Pipeline.
got all your players.
In full effect.
Anyway, sorry for everyone.
Stay on target.
Any Cal fans out there. But I think Quasi, Mikey Matthews, and I am hoping Titus Mokiawe, Mokie Atimalala has a big. Thank you. Has a huge season. I've loved this guy for the last several seasons, and he's just kind of had abbreviated seasons. I hope he can play a full 14 games this year and really be I said it. And really be,
you said 14 guys. Okay,
and
Mike.
Really be 13. And really be an effective weapon for this wide receiving team, which I honestly think is going to be a top 5 receiving core. So that's who I think is going to be in the air game.
Good. And then she also says, this is Nancy speaking, my prediction, and I like what she's thinking here. If we beat Utah, we go into a 9-3 season. If not, 6-6. Well, it's pretty optimistic pessimism, I think, Nancy. And then she says, if we beat Penn State, the ceiling is the roof, or in my case, the stars. Yeah, no doubt about that. That would be absolutely insane.
The ceiling is the roof.
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane. And that's from Nancy. So thank you, Nancy, for writing in. It was wonderful. Now, Mike, do we have any other listener-y type stuff?
So far, no.
Okay, good. So, Mike, do you have any headlines from Bro?
Well, I will make this super quick.
Thank you.
Because I know you hate the basketball talk, and at this point, I kind of do too, because I want to get to football, but the UCLA men's
basketball. I would like to avoid the basketball shows for as long as possible.
I will make this quick. The men's basketball non-conference schedule has come out for this year. 11 games, 8 of them at home, 3 neutral site games, 0 true road games, which makes for an interesting schedule.
Get to the chopper!
Sorry, Mike.
A lot of cupcakes here. Eastern Washington, Pepperdine, West Covina. Sorry, no, that's West Georgia. Sacramento State. But they do have some quality teams that they're playing against, but those are going to be the neutral site games. You have Arizona mid-November at the Intuit Dome. Then the Bruins are up at Cal, not up at Cal, up in the Bay Area against Cal at the Chase Center. And then you have Gonzaga on December 13th at the Climate Pledge Arena. The only thing I have to say about this is I'm getting sick of these neutral sites. Just do a proper home and home. It's weird. It's weird that a lot of these teams are doing kind of home and homes with games at an arena in the city you play in. But Yeah, screw that. I want vitriol. I want UCLA at McHale Center. I want Arizona at Pauley. I want Gonzaga at Pauley and vice versa. Hey, Cal, I know you're not doing so well, but bring it down. You got to come back to Pauley. We got to go back up to Haas. Yeah, end this neutral site BS. Let's get some true road games here, some home and homes, especially with all these splits in conferences. Other than that, it seems like a very manageable schedule.
I am interested in that.
Jake, can we talk about football now?
Yes.
Sorry.
I do want to, that Chase Center game, I might go to that because Megan's probably going to be there playing with Ben. So that's fun. All right,
Nice.
cool. Good. Let's get done with that.
Yeah, when is that? We should all go.
There you go.
That Cal game is going to be at the end of November. Oh, it's going to be tough.
That is going to be tough.
I mean, we have F1 in Vegas. We have USC, UCLA. Yeah, Jake, you might have to go on that one on your own.
Yeah, or maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, Mike, are we done then?
Yes. Football.
All right, let's get to
We
football.
got football.
Blue 32, Blue 32, California, California, hood, hey! Football.
Okay, Mike. So I think before we get to our guest, I don't want to talk about the UCLA season is kind of in the broad strokes right now.
Yeah.
And let's figure out exactly what we think the Bruins will be this year. And then we'll talk about Utah. We'll probably split this into 2 episodes, but let's do that right now. Looking at the schedule, and it's funny, like last year, we kind of knew in advance that the Bruins were going to be under 500, just before the halfway point of the season, like pretty much for sure, because they had that stretch that was at LSU, Oregon, at Penn State.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that it was even worse than that because we had the Indiana game that, I know we were worried about Indiana, but I don't think any of us thought that Indiana was going to be quite that good, quite that fast.
That they would bitch slap us? Yeah.
And that was the opening of the season, right? Yeah. If you remember last year, we gritted and gutted.
Like, we'll take down Indiana.
That horrible Hawaii game.
Yeah.
And then got just asses kicked by Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Oregon game, or the LSU game, was competitive for a half. I was there. That was fun for a half. And then they just kind of, we're done.
I would say the Penn State game was competitive for a half, too.
No, the Penn State game was never, ever,
It was-
ever in doubt.
Oh, no.
Never in doubt.
No, they wiped the floor with UCLA definitely in the second half, but there was, I'll say this, there was competitiveness, and from that competitiveness, we saw, especially in the end of most games, even if they were getting their butts kicked, they were losing, they were still fighting.
That's all fine.
I would say that.
That's fine and dandy, that's fine and dandy. I don't want to argue whether or not they got their ass kicked by Penn State or not. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that when we were looking at the schedule beforehand, we kind of knew best case scenario, even if Indiana wasn't that good, best case scenario, the Bruins were likely going to be 2-3 heading into the 6th game of that season.
Yeah.
And then we're like, they got a bunch of 50-50 games and who knows how it's going to break down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, we knew last year going into Sean Foster's first year, they have to weather the storm, make it through those first 5 games, and then try to do what they could after that. And it turned out that's exactly how the season went. It ended up being worse than we thought because Indiana was so much better, right, Mike?
Yeah.
But they survived that gauntlet of teams early in the season, and then they came out of that. And even though they ended up, having one more loss coming off of that brutal gauntlet, and that was that horrible game against Minnesota that they should have won. But like you're saying, they fought hard in that game, and then they managed to string together 3 victories after that. And they certainly were in the games against Washington SC, and then they ended up with a win against Fresno State. So it's like, my point being is, last year that schedule was very front loaded.
Yeah.
They had to survive it and then get to the games that they had a real legitimate chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
This year's
schedule, it's kind of flipped.
It's a little flipped, and it's not. I don't think it's nearly as difficult, in aggregate.
Which is
it's
weird
still
because people are still saying that UCLA has Phil Steele, I think, has them as the 12th hardest schedule, strength of schedule. So,
and that makes sense to me. But why is it different? It makes sense to me. Why is it different, do you think?
Because we just don't know. But the difference is that UCLA sans Penn State, has. If this was a good team, they could probably roll through this 5-1 with a loss to Penn State, and then you get into the second half of the season where you have at Indiana, Nebraska, at Ohio State, Washington, at USC, but UCLA should be in a better position at that point of the season to take on those teams.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's not front loaded like it was last year, and it is a little less difficult. But the reason I think it's still one of the toughest schedules in the country is because all of these teams, pretty much on this list, with the exception of like New Mexico and probably UNLV, but I mean we don't want to disrespect them. But other than New Mexico, every team on this list probably could beat the Bruins if the Bruins aren't playing well, and that's why it's a difficult schedule, right? There's like no absolute super absolute gimmies on this thing.
Yeah,
there's no Purdue's on there, right? We do have the New Mexico game, so I kind of look at this season broken into 3 parts and taking it by thirds. And
oh my, let's go.
And I look at it as
I love fractions,
yeah, right? And tell me if you disagree with any of this, Mike. But looking at the first third of the schedule, I think the Bruins can be very optimistic about how they could start.
Yeah.
And I think optimistically, 3-1 really should be what fans should be looking at as an absolute minimum on this. And that would mean they drop the Utah game, they drop the Northwestern game, but they mop up against UNLV. They basically split those games, and then they beat New Mexico and UNLV. Okay?
But that's 2-2, though.
No. They split Utah and Northwestern.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And they beat those. That's the minimum they need to do. And I think this kind of goes along with kind of what Nancy was saying. If they beat Utah, then they're off to the races. But if they don't, it's really going to make it difficult. Well, I kind of look at it as, even if they lose to Utah, if they win their next 3, they're still in pretty good shape. But certainly if they beat Utah, 4-0 is absolutely on the table, right?
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. Let me just remind people, because Jake brought this up early summer, mid to early summer, and I told everyone that has wanted to discuss UCLA football around the nation. Jake's take on this is absolutely spot on. And especially it goes along with what's been going on with UCLA, kind of limiting media access and not really branding the program. If UCLA goes 3-1, nobody's going to care because they were expected to lose to Utah. They were expected to beat UNLV, New Mexico, and Northwestern. Right. But if they go 4-0, that's something. That's going to turn some heads.
Yeah, no, we talked about this last month.
And they absolutely should be 4-0.
Well, should
again, should. That's a loose.
That's assuming a lot against you.
Yeah, that's a lot of opinion right there. But no, if they do, going into that Penn State game, eyeballs are going to be on this program more than they have been. And one of the things, I did a Spaces on Twitter, and one of the things I was talking about is how a lot of these national pundits, Big Ten pundits, don't really seem to invest much research in what UCLA is doing for spring and fall, because we're seeing a lot of positivity. Like, I mean, let me contrast that with what we were writing a year ago, what we were talking about. Well, we hope they're okay. We hope this offense is good. Blah 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 blah. There's a lot more optimism now with a lot of the UCLA writers just going, this team just looks different with Tino Sinceri, Iamaliava, and Jet.
But you haven't seen a whole lot, though.
We have
as
not.
well.
We haven't, but you can kind of just tell, just a little bit. Like you can see that there's a little bit more swagger, a little bit more comfort, and that's why I think UCLA should absolutely be 4-0 going into that Penn State game.
Yeah, well, but even if they're not 4-0, 3-1, I think is still an acceptable mark. If they're 2-2 or worse, then I mean we're talking doomsday bell at that point. I mean, we should be strapping in and waiting for kind of a disaster. Now, so that's the first 4 games. Kind of a manageable, doable. Let's get through that with a good record, with a winning record, right, Mike?
Hells yeah. Now
the second third, kind of have to hope for 2-2. I think there's a definite floor of 1-3. God help them if they're on 4. And I'm counting like the 1-3 would be they split Michigan State and Maryland. They got to win at least at Michigan State or Maryland to survive that. But let's say they beat Utah and they're 4-0. why couldn't they go 3-1 in the stretch? Like, they're not beating Penn State, but if they could beat Utah, then I think they could win at Michigan State. I think they could. I'm pretty sure they could beat Maryland.
Mhm.
And then the at Indiana, that's tough. That's really tough. They're probably not going to be that. They're probably going to be 2-2, right? So there's
Yeah.
2 really tough games there.
So in the
But
middle
if they beat
third,
Utah, then I mean, we'll
Yeah.
see.
So in the
I-
middle third, you're thinking they're going to go 2-2.
I think they're going to go 2-2. I think it's the
Okay.
most likely outcome. So I'm thinking 3-1 in the first.
I got the
This is-
same thing too. Yeah.
So I'm thinking 3-1 in the first 4, 2-2 in the second 4, and then if they're playing really well, then you can get really optimistic and think, well, I guess maybe they have a shot at Indiana. I don't think they have any shot hosting Penn State, but who knows? And then you get into the back third, and the back third worries me in that these games, I think it's definitely a possibility for them to go over depending on how they're playing.
Yeah.
But they're all 50-50 games, though, except for the Ohio State game.
Yeah.
It's like they have one pretty much scheduled loss and then 3 games where it
I
could
would
go
say
either
that
way
too,
depending
yeah.
on how they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like I have no idea how they're going to do in the back third, and I think that kind of determines how you think they're going to be. Right now, I got 3-1 in the first third, 2-2 in the second third, so I got them at 5-3 heading into those last 4 games. They got to win 1 out of 4 to go bowling. They have to win 2 out of 4 to kind of get to the point where me and you think they should be at as a minimum, the
Yeah.
bare minimum, right? And they get 3 and they go 3-1. Then all of a sudden now we're talking about a really successful season based on what we were thinking about. But to go 3-1 in the stretch, that means you're beating Nebraska, you're beating Washington, both at the Rose Bowl, and then you're going to the Mausoleum and beating the Trojans, which could happen if they're playing well.
Yeah.
If Nico's as advertised, if their defense is actually decent defense, that could happen. But it also could go the other way too, and they could lose all those 50-50 games, and they could end the season, kind of in a rough fashion. Mike, how do you see that back 4 going?
It's interesting because I like when Nebraska. I actually have Nebraska finishing with a better record than UCLA, but I think UCLA at that point should have enough under their belt to take down the Huskers. I mean, they did it at Nebraska last year. I don't see why they couldn't do it this year with an upgrade. Ohio State, you were talking about there's an absolutely they can go 0-4. If you think about the opposite way, they could absolutely go 4-0. No, they're losing at Ohio State.
Doesn't seem that way.
They're losing
It doesn't
at
seem
Ohio
that
State.
way.
Washington, that is a huge toss-up. I went back and forth with, could UCLA beat them? Is Washington good enough? At that point of the season, is there going to be enough to, give the advantage to one team or another? So that's still a toss-up. I think UCLA might lose that game, but
It's at the Rose Bowl, so you never know.
yeah. But the thing with USC, I'm just not seeing any progress with this Trojan team. And I'm not trying to bash them because they're the Trojans. It's just you bring in Lincoln Riley, and he has just been subpar the last 2 years. And you bring in, and this is not my word, but I've read a lot of USC pundits saying that Jaden Mayava is probably, and I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but he's probably not the best quarterback that Lincoln Riley has had since he's been at USC. Plus the fact that, it's a rivalry game. And even though this shouldn't matter, but it kind of does matter, UCLA has won the last 3 games at the Coliseum. That's huge. So I think UCLA might, if they're on a roll, UCLA wants to put a stamp on that season, and they're going to probably get that win. So I could honestly see 3-1. I don't want to say easily, but that seems likely.
Yes. And Mike,
Sorry.
do
texts
we
are
need
coming
to
in.
have the notifications
Yeah, I'm trying to
on
shut them off.
during the show?
Look, I have people.
I know. You're a
tweeting
very important man,
stuff.
Mike. It's
Like,
okay.
Very
important.
Well, to my kids.
I know. I know. It's okay.
So about.
So when you're done with that text, tell me then, or unless you want me to go first, with that in mind, discussing the schedule in full as we just have,
Go. You go first.
what's your, okay, so my UCLA prediction for this year is I think that we're in game week, so I can't predict them to have a loss this week. Gee whiz. So that means I'm 4-0 in the first third, 2-2 in the second third. That makes them bowl eligible heading into the last stretch of the season, in which I think they
So that's
go
6-2 for you? 6-2, yeah.
6-2, and then I think they split those. So 2-2 there. I'm going to say
So 8-4.
I'm revising my opinion. I'm going to go 3-1 in the first 3. I don't know what I'm saying. 8-4. Let's go Bruins.
That is exactly what I chose. I think they're going to win the first 4. You fall to Penn State because it's freaking Penn State. Indiana's going to be tough. I think that's a loss at Indiana. And like I said, Washington, I think that's going to be just a tough overall game. That's just going to be a Pac-12 rivalry going into late in the season. They're just going to try to have both teams are going to try to have the best game possible. But I think Washington comes out victorious. And then I just think UCLA takes down USC for an 8-4 season.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think the middle part of the season is where they're gonna struggle the most, maybe, and I can see maybe like a 1-3 in there.
You know what's funny? So I put my game by game predictions on Twitter, X, whatever the hell it's called, yesterday, and I was expecting a lot of vitriol. Didn't get it. I was also expecting it from UCLA fans, but UCLA fans were like, that's cool. I see 7-5. Others were like, dude, I could totally see 10-2. Cool. Hey, awesome. The ones that did troll that saying, oh, UCLA is only winning 4 games are USC fans that have less than 200 followers. And then this was out of nowhere. Tennessee fans are kind of coming out of the woodwork to do some trolling.
How could they not, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I saw some UCLA people, sparring with some Tennessee people. Oh, Joey Aguilar, Iam Aliava, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't going to get into it. I think it's just total entertainment. But
Twitter is always a productive use of everyone's time.
It is the go-to for anything information-wise.
Or petty.
I mean, exactly, especially during college football season. But
or petty.
No, I could see... Like even last night, someone was saying, Mike, really, what do you think about what UCLA can do? And I'm like, honestly, 8-4. And I thought I was being generous with 8-4. But if this team can do what it looks like they can do, and especially here's my thing. If UCLA with Bieniemy's offense last year went 5-7, I don't see how this team with a less complex, more player-centric, and having players that are just absolute studs, I cannot see them go anywhere near a 5-7 record. That just seems absurd.
I definitely can see it because we haven't really seen them do it yet. We're hoping that the defense is at least semi-decent but it could be. That's the thing. It could be much worse than last year. It could be almost as good as last year. It could be as good as last year, but we got to see it to believe it, right? I mean, because so many guys have left. Yeah. So many guys are in. There's so many new guys. That's the thing. So it's like,
yeah,
I totally could see it going both directions. Nico isn't guaranteed to work out. We think he will. Jet isn't guaranteed to work out. We think he will. We think they have enough offensive linemen, all those things. So it's like, yeah, I mean, and like I said, when we look at the schedule, none of these games are really gimmies, but for a small little portion of it. So it's like, yeah, okay. I'm just saying that me and you are choosing to believe that based on how they played last year, played hard all the time, and what they did bring in, it seems like the potential certainly is there for them to be much improved.
Yeah.
But if they go 8-4, everybody associated with UCLA is going to be thrilled with that.
Dude, if they go 8-4, I'm buying a Bugatti.
Really, Mike?
Go on Temu.
Okay, good. It's good. And then,
I could buy a Temu Bugatti. It's basically going to be a tricked out Corolla.
Great idea. Hey, I have a working with a new Bugatti here somewhere.
Mateen, baby. Come on now.
I got to get used to my board again.
I know, right? We're back in action, baby. As Danny DeVito says, dead air.
Total dead air. Oh. With it's terrible.
Not our best stretch of football coverage over the last 12 years, but hey, we ended with an exclamation.
There we go.
Dear God, even my son knows what a goddamn Bugatti is.
Oh, it's fun.
You
guys live in LA.
Okay. You know how we're kind of liking the AI and all that stuff?
Yeah.
You live in LA too. What are you talking about? North Valley. Yeah, I get it. But
the actual city of LA, yes.
Yeah. So he asked me, hey, Dad, can you show me how to use AI? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, okay, what are we going to do? He goes, hang on, I'm going to pose like this. can you ask AI to make a picture of me as the Mandalorian standing in front of a Bugatti? I'm like,
That's hilarious.
I'm like, you're a freaking nerd, dude. Yes, let's do it. But anyway, yeah. So
How'd it come out?
I will bring it up shortly.
All right, good. Yeah, it'll be the show art.
Yeah. Oh, nice. He's gonna be happy about that. But yeah. So it's been what were we talking about? We were talking about Bugattis. I don't know. Yeah, I just think this is going to be a much better. It just seems, and with the eyeballs, that this is going to be a much improved team.
And there's no enemy. So how bad could it possibly be?
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
He is the enemy of this offense.
Man, oh man. You said it. You said it, brother.
Do you think we drink too much?
No, we don't drink too much. Men face reality, women don't. That's why men need to drink.
I hate it when podcasters talk about what they're drinking.
What else am I gonna drink, Bob? A fucking Fresca?
No, we're not having frescoes on the What's Bruin show tonight. In fact, it's the What's Bruin Symposium. Symposium is a conversation over drinks. And as per usual, Mike and I are enjoying a little something while we're doing the What's Bruin show on the What's Bruin Show Network. Thank you for support. Mikey, I see a fun-looking beer over there in your hand. Santa Monica, something or other.
I've had this before, and this comes from Santa Monica Brew Works. This is their Inclined IPA. Get it? The California Incline, which goes from up to down, the whole cliff situation. But have you ever been to Santa Monica Brew Works? It's in a weird part. It's
fun?
It's not. It's very cool. Very fun. I actually went there for the first time during the last March Madness. I'm going to make this really quickly, but they had huge TVs all over. It's a brewery, so it closed at like 10 p.m., but just a fun place to like just venture to. It has like a huge outside area, a pizza place next door that it's to die for. But it's kind of like in the middle of a residential area, probably about 5 blocks east of 3rd Street, that kind of area. But I absolutely love it, and this is a really fun beer. This is a IPA. I love the IPAs, but it's not overpowering. But so I quite like it. But you got some fancy stuff going on right there.
I do. Today I actually was gifted a couple small bottles of Armenian brandy. The one I poured into this drink was the Arat, aged 10 years, and it's a little 2-ounce bottle of it, and I combined it with 2 ounces of amaretto, and it created a really nice cocktail served over a nice large block of ice. It's called the Armenian Connection, with my Armenian brandy and my amaretto. And it's in honor of my good friends at the Sherman Oaks Bank of America, who I made some cocktails for last week, because one of our friends there, Alina, she got promoted from teller to banker, and we were all proud of her. So I brought them some cocktails, and then they made me some tiramisu and gave me a couple
nice
Armenian brandy. So love those ladies, and support all my Armenian brothers and sisters out there, maybe except for 2.
We love our Armenian. Yeah, right.
But it's all good. And thank you so much for your support on the What's Bruin Show. You can join the Twitter during the Patreon or the Substack, and you'll see that in the show notes. But on that, Mike, cheers to you and your Santa Monica beer and my Armenian connection. And have a good night. Let's get back to the football talk.
Blue 32, Blue 32, California, California, hood, hey! Football.
It's the 2025 UCLA football season.
Hells
Hope
yeah.
springs eternal, and
Hells
here we
yeah.
go. So let's get right to the game that will be. Oh, no, that's not it. It's this one.
It's the game that will be. It's the game that will
12
be.
years and you screwed it up, Jake.
It's the game that
Thanks.
I don't know why I would have a flip-flop. Oh, you know why? Because typically if we're talking about a game, we'd talk about the game that was first, and then the game that will be. That's why I organize them like that.
Yeah.
But it's first game of the season, so it's backwards what it should be. And then, so UCLA is going to be taking on the old dreaded Utah Utes out at the Rose Bowl, as Mike called it, Rice Eccles West. I still grouse when I hear that.
Piss
But,
off a lot of Bruin fans.
There's been some rough games out there as of late, in this matchup. And so, we kind of all understand why we see that. The Bruins right now are a 6.5 home dog, plus 6.5. And they're going to take on the Utes at the Rose Bowl on Fox at 8 p.m. the terrible 8 p.m. start. We're not getting home if we stay for the whole game until like freaking 2 a.m. It's going to be rough. Fox,
Fox,
there's 2 win predictors now. And just like everything else with Fox and ESPN, they're diametrically opposed. Fox has the UCLA win predictor percentage at 33. ESPN has UCLA at 52.1. When has that ever happened?
Really?
When
that
has
moved up.
ever been in the corner of the Bruins? I can't remember any moments.
Okay.
So that's worth the celebration.
Because I just looked at this like 2 days ago. I don't think I have it up here, but it was so close. But what, like 2 or 3 days ago, UCLA had a 48% chance, 47% chance of winning, which is still right there. But now, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's 52.1 now.
Damn.
Look at that. Damn.
Well, all right.
Okay.
I gotta update my story.
With that being said, let's get to some quick trivia. Then we're going to get to our special guest, and then we'll give our predictions on the game, and then we'll be done with this wonderful What's Bruin show.
Now it's time for Jake's Trivia, brought to you by Jake, bringing you all the coolest trivia of UCLA football's opponent for this coming week. And now, Jake.
So, Mikey, we're going to talk in just a minute to Josh Bennet about the Utah Utes.
Yeah.
And he's going to talk all about their transfer quarterback. The Utes, just like UCLA, got themselves a transfer quarterback and a transfer coordinator. And unlike UCLA, those 2 guys for Utah came from the same place.
Yeah.
From New Mexico. So our first trivia question has to do with the incoming quarterback, Devin Dampier. Mike, he became the 5th player last season to record at least 2,500 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards in a single season. And he's in pretty rare company with this. The other 4 guys, how many can you name? They're all current NFL starting quarterbacks.
Repeat the stats.
They all passed in one single season for 2,500 and 1,000 rushing. Ran for 1,000, passed for 200.
And there were 4?
There's 4 other guys other than this guy.
I would say Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen.
Not Josh Allen.
Oh.
So you got your one for 2 there.
Damn it.
One is fairly recent. These are all spread out over time pretty good, but they're all active NFL quarterbacks. I'll give you a couple more guesses.
Trevor Lawrence?
No.
Trying to think of other.
The most obvious one in my mind would be, well, there's 2.
Not Mahomes.
No. How about Lamar? Lamar Jackson?
Oh,
your Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah.
How about Kyler Murray?
Okay, yeah.
Kyler Murray, you see that. And then the other one, the most recent one, only been in the NFL for, this is going into his 2nd season.
Caleb?
We played against him when he was a Pac-12 quarterback, and then he went to the SEC.
Oh, Jaden Daniels.
That's right. Yeah. So those are them. So I'm just going to say this ain't a great sign. This ain't a great sign for the Bruins.
Do you know how close he was supposed to be a Bruin?
I know. Very close.
Damn it.
Thanks,
Chip Kelly.
But I'm just saying, this doesn't necessarily, this is a pretty impressive stat. Only 4 other guys have done what he did last year, and it's Lamar, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and Jaden Daniels. I mean, give me a break. So,
but he was at New Mexico, and that is a lighter schedule. But at the same time, he's the first Mountain West player, group of 5 player.
I'm just saying, pretty goddamn impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
Okay, so your other trivia question is, UCLA started the series against the Utes.
Yeah.
8-0. Through the history of time, before they got into the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Just to show you how rough it's been, UCLA started 8-0. They still lead the series. But what has it been in the last 13? They start 8-0.
Yeah,
But after Utah got their first win, what has it been since? And it's 13 games.
I just saw these stats. Out of 13 games, hasn't Utah won 9 of those?
You're right, Mike. 4-9.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And it's even worse than that because UCLA goes 8-0, and then they go 3-3.
Yeah.
And the last 7.
Yeah.
1-7.
Yeah, just dear God. And
It's
I
like,
think,
God dang it.
and what is it?
Stupid Utes.
Utah is 3-1 in the last 4 games against UCLA in
What is a
the
Ute?
Rose Bowl. So
Did you say Utes?
yay.
Yeah, it's rough. So anyways, that's what we're dealing with at this point. So let's get into what these Utah Utes
Did you say Utes?
are actually about.
Mhm.
And let's bring on our very special guest on the What's Bruin Show hotline.
And we have a special guest joining us on the What's Bruin hotline. We have Josh Bennet of the Utah Blockcast, powered by KSL Sports, joining us here to talk about Utah and to give us some in-depth analysis with the team that UCLA is going to be facing in their season opener this Saturday at the Rose Bowl, or as I like to occasionally call it, Rice Eccles West, because y'all own that. Josh, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you. Really happy to be here. Appreciate you having me on. Might I ask you what's brewing?
Oh, well, we just got through a crazy heat wave, so everyone's kind of like coming back to normalcy. But yeah, we are excited. We're within field goal range of the season, and I am just excited. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Screw you, Christmas. This is the most wonderful time of the year. Except then when we get to Christmas and bowl season, that becomes a difference. Anyway, no, I'm actually just very excited for this season. I'm excited to see what UCLA has put together. But in order to do that, they have to go through a pretty tough team, which had an up and down season last year with Utah, but they seem to be upgrading, kind of like UCLA. So let's just get into it. First off, what was it like for you? What do you think it was like for the team for their first year in the Big 12 last year, especially after the Pac-12 exploded? Everyone went their own ways, and Utah went the way of the Big 12. What was that like?
Yeah, it's definitely a little strange. You miss some of those teams that you get used to playing every year, some of those venues that you like to visit. Being able to have that opportunity to go to Pasadena every other year or so is not bad, right? So you look at new territory, new teams, but some of the stuff that's been enjoyable is there's a lot of passion in that Big 12 country. A lot of teams that that they just bring the noise, and you get on social media. It's fun to have that fan interaction. But new league, obviously things didn't quite pan out the way that we had hoped. It felt like that final year of Pac-12 play, we had some of those injury bugs, and we kind of reloaded, and we're like, all right, off year, get back to it. And no, things did not go our way once again. So here we are again, just entering a season, hoping to stay healthy and, fit into the conference like we think we should be able to.
How do you, what did you get a sense from the fans? How do they feel about that situation? Was there a bit of satisfaction? I mean, not just with the record, but how Utah maybe fit in the Big 12, or do people just want to be somewhere else? Do they want to be in, back to the Pac-12? What's the overall sentiment?
I think the overall sentiment, and you probably feel this across the country, is you'd like things to make geographical sense, right? You got Stanford and Cal traveling to the ACC country. Like, it makes no sense. And that tells me that at some point, this is all going to rubber band back. If we're looking at the conferences as they sit today, I'm a believer that we're gonna keep moving down this direction to a P2. I'd rather there be a P3 just to kind of spread it out more. But Utah fans definitely right now are kind of uneasy, with no guarantees for the future. So we do feel like we're almost on that outset, being on that outside looking in. Would love to join you guys in the Big 10. That's kind of the prize that I think we're looking at. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what some of this moving and shaking does at the end of the decade here as they reposture everything.
Coach Whittingham he seems to be a lifer. Took over the job many moons ago. for Urban Meyer, a guy that doesn't even coach anymore, and yet Coach Whittingham is still there, manning the reins and getting this ship continually going. You know, this Utah has been quite a powerful program as he's been in charge. Not to ask if you think he's going to go much longer, but how do you what do you think is keeping him around? You know, is it just the fact that he just wants to keep going? Is it for his love of Utah football? What is the image of Coach Whittingham right now?
Yeah, I think when we got those back-to-back Pac-12 championships, get to the Rose Bowl, come up just short in the Rose Bowls from getting the W, there's just that little taste for something more. And then, you know, you had the 2023 season where injury riddled, right? So it's like, all right, let's re-up, let's do this one more time. And I think there's a lot of belief that last year was meant to be his final season, his last hurrah. And, you know, if you listen to the guy talk, you know that he can't go out with a 5-7 record in a losing season, and people asking questions of like, hey, is the game passed him by, yada, yada, yada. So I think he's back to kind of, you know, prove he can coach, but also to just kind of end on a high note. And I think that's probably, I'm projecting, I think a lot of fans are projecting that if we come out and play Utah football and have the season we think we can have, this could very well be his last season as a coach.
Well, let's get into the teams themselves. You know, UCLA comes into the game with a newsworthy transfer quarterback in Nico Iamaleava, as well as an offensive coordinator in Tino Sunseri. So does Utah. They bring in Devin Dampier and Jason Beck, both from New Mexico. What are your thoughts on how they might assimilate into the program, and what have you heard about how the offense is rolling so far?
Yeah, so Jason Beck is kind of part of that like broader state of Utah football family, if you will. There's a lot of shared coaches and players that played here. Now they're coaching there between Utah and BYU, and so Jason Beck, he's played at BYU, and so there's familiarity with you know, that whole big, again, state of Utah football family. So I think it's a great fit for Kyle Whittingham to get somebody who's familiar with what he's trying to do, get someone that understands, you know, the state of Utah. It's not the easiest place to recruit to it sometimes, but it's really nice that he's coming in, he's bringing his quarterback with him. So it's not, you know, you don't have the most important position in the sport, learning a new system. We're hoping for some of that continuity and plugging that in with our offensive line and some of the elevated talent that he'll have around him, especially in the running back room. I think it can be a bit of a seamless transition, but that is absolutely the biggest question mark. Can that make the jump from Mountain West football to, you know, Power 4 football?
From what you know, from what you've heard, how do you gauge his strengths? Is he a guy that's going to run first? Is he a guy that can see the field?
Yeah, I think we're really gonna want to lean on the run. That's kind of in our DNA. That's how Kyle likes to do things. Later on, you know, maybe you get into, you know, the Morgan Scalley era. There's word is, you know, Morgan Scalley wants to open it up. Morgan Scalley, our defensive coordinator, head coach in waiting. But right now, I think we're really gonna want to pound the rock, control the line of scrimmage, control the game flow, and I think that's a lot of what we'll see this season. The big question mark is when teams load the box, is Dampier going to be able to get outside and find some of those outlet passes and make people respect his throw game? Because, you know, he did make some mistakes in Mountain West play. He didn't have a great touchdown to interception ratio. That's Witt's biggest thing is don't make mistakes. And I think he's not going to have to play from behind as much as he did with New Mexico. And he has a defense that has his back. I think the kid can be really good, and it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I totally get what you're saying about how you think that he'll be a little more protected playing with Utah. He won't be under that pressure. But when you watched his film from last year, this is a guy just on, there was a lot of like option plays and things where his pitches and he's really exciting with his like pitch fakes and things like that. Are you at all concerned that he's a little bit loose with the ball just as he's running the plays and you're going to pick up a few fumbles that you probably wouldn't have had with another player?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be something that's we're probably going to feel early on in the season, and that's something that we got to watch for on Saturday. That's the kind of thing that I think would allow this game to break open and go in UCLA's favor. We feel pretty optimistic about this, but there's a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball. You guys can score points at will if those things are clicking, right? So if we don't protect the ball, that could open up some areas. With that said, like, that's always been Whittingham's thing, is protect the ball. Don't throw the interceptions, don't fumble it, and that's he puts a pretty tight leash around quarterbacks who get a little too trigger happy. Running backs lose snaps when they put the ball on the ground. So definitely something to consider early on in the season, and we'll see how that kind of takes shape as the season rolls on.
Yeah, and you figure, you've already talked about it a little bit, I'm sure, but the offensive line for Utah is something that's been when they've come up in the preseason so far, and in the last 2 decades for Utah football, that's always a point of pride. What makes this particular line this year, better than even typical Utah lines, and how's that going to affect your offense?
Yeah, it's just a very experienced unit, anchoring the left side and the right side of the tackle position. We have two guys that depends what draft boards you're looking at, but a lot of them are mocking both guys to go in the first round. I see Spencer Fano going as high as number 3 overall.
Wow.
Caleb Lomu being a first rounder as well. He's not in everybody's first round mock draft, but he is showing up in a bunch. It's just a really experienced unit, and I think just having that level of play at the anchors on each side of the line, I think it's going to allow us to do a lot of things on the edge and just have a lot of time back there to get creative with a guy like Devin Dampier.
No, and I'm really curious to see how UCLA is going to look going up against what we know is probably going to be a very good unit there, especially considering what UCLA is trying to replace. Now, flipping over the other side of the ball, you already talked about the coach, heir apparent, Morgan Scaley. He's been your DC for a while. You guys are always having a really good defense. What is just your overall thoughts on the Utah defense this year before we talk about more specifics?
Yeah, we return a lot on the defensive side of the ball. We had to replace a little bit in the middle. We've at the D tackle on the D line interior there. We feel pretty good about what we've got, but that is a spot that people kind of, are we going to be okay there? Are we going to be okay up front? It's one of those positions where notoriously we're good up front, but you also just can't just count on that and take that for granted. So
sure.
That's something. And then in our secondary, we feel good about who we have that's going to start off on the field, but we need to stay healthy there. We lost an absolute stud corner to the transfer portal. He went to Bama, Cameron Calhoun. But we feel good about the guys that we're going to have on the outside and the secondary, and it should be business as usual for our defense.
Yeah, and that makes sense. As far as the front seven goes, like, do you think that you'll be better at worse at generating pressure for than you were last year, for example, or how do you feel about that part of the defense?
It's tough. I feel like I gotta see some of it. I think the pressure will still come. I do want to. We don't have that absolute like dominant that dude along the front that just commands the double teams and stuff like that. And that's
right.
Something I'm gonna want to watch like as it comes as the season comes along. But Scally finds ways to dial up blitzes and get that pressure and cause some havoc for opposing offenses. So he's always been good at getting creative like that. It'll be exciting to see who steps up.
Yeah, no doubt. They're always sound.
If this goes well for Utah, what do you think will how do you foresee this season going? We talked about how they have a good offensive line, new quarterback. The defense is still going to be pretty freaking solid. How do you think Utah ends up at the end of the season?
Yeah, well, I look at last year, we lost five one-possession games with some of the worst quarterback play in the country. I heard, like, I'm not going to be able to give you the exact stat, but we were like the worst offense in all of P4 by some metric. And again, sorry, I can't pull that, but it was bad. The offense was as bad as it was, and the defense was still able to hold its own and keep us in a lot of games.
That sounds very familiar. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm like, are you talking about UCLA or Utah?
No, you're good. Yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're sitting, is this thought of, if we can have some resemblance of an offense, we should be able to win a few more games. And if the offense can be, just in the, if we can get like a top 50 offense and then have a top 15 defense, like that's enough to really get it done. We've always believed that Utah, if we could score 30 points a game, which is a reasonable number to go for, if we could score 30 points a game, the sky kind of becomes the limit for us, because there's not a lot of games where our opponents are able to put up 30 points.
Yeah, that makes sense. And when you're seeing that 30 points, are you imagining, Dampier is doing something similar to what he was doing in New Mexico, where he's, you guys are running the ball for like 300 yards a game on people and then like, chipping in 150 through the air, or are you expecting something different than that?
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a makeup that's going to consist of heavy run. I think that's just what we want to do. I look at the running back room, how many backs we have. I look at the offensive line that we have and the potential to bully people up front. But there's going to be moments where teams are going to be able to staff that and try to take away the run, and Dampier's going to have to beat them. And yeah,
that makes sense. So the opposite question is, and excluding injuries from this, right? Because if you get hurt, then no telling how bad you could be. But if things go wrong for Utah this year, what points of the team, whether it's something with the defensive line or something with the secondary or with the quarterback, where do you think that it could go wrong for the Utes that could kind of defeat them as they're trying to hit these goals?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that could prevent us is, again, we're going to go on the offensive side of the ball. It's going to be the wide receivers, the tight ends. Are they going to be there for Dampier when he needs to beat somebody with his arm? Are they going to be ready to, step up and make those plays and get open and catch the ball and no drops and things like that? That's really what it's going to come down to, because if he doesn't have anybody to throw it to and we can't get a passing game, then stack the box, pin it back, and we're not gonna be able to score points.
Right. All right. Looking at this game, first game of the season, jitters get out early. By the third quarter, both teams should have a feel for the other. What is your score prediction?
I've got 34-20 Utah.
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
You're a guest.
You be you.
Hey, I'm not as bad as there's one of the guys on PFF. He had Utah like 36-17. I was like, I can't get all the way up there. I think we'll be able to get some points. I think the big thing is you've already kind of touched on that. The D line for UCLA is a big question mark. You don't know exactly what that's going to look like. And that kind of feeds right into, our offensive line being dominant. I think we're going to be able to just keep trucking along with the run game. I think it's going to be a heavy dose of run. And I think our defense is pretty good. I could see it getting into that 34-27, but I don't see us giving them many more points than that. But if you guys score 27, then we'll see. That's where some people are looking at the 6.5 point spread on this, and they're like, I think UCLA covers that. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it's my question mark is going to be, is UCLA's offense going to come in and be able to gel against a really solid, experienced defense in week one?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just from last year, I would be surprised. I would be super happy. I'd be jumping for joy if UCLA scores more than 20 points in a game. So that's our goal right now. So
very low benchmark right now.
Yeah.
I would put this more like 34-27 if we're playing like week 3. Like you get a little more into it. I think that's where things get a little more. I'd be a little more nervous there. But no, it'll be fun to watch UCLA this year. See what comes of that. You got Deshaun Foster. Fun fact: his first offer in high school was a Utah Utes offer. Kyle Whittingham said that today.
That was awesome.
Yeah, but you know, I like Deshaun Foster. I kind of like the way he's, you know, he just seems like a no nonsense guy. I feel like there's some of that Kyle Whittingham, some of those tendencies he has like that. I just like and respect in a coach. So excited to see what he's able to put together in year 2. And you know, it's football.
Well, that's Josh Bennet of the Utah Blockcast, powered by KSL Sports. We miss all our Utah brethren, even though y'all kicked our butts year in and year out while we were in the Pac-12. Thank you for bringing us up to speed with Utah football. And check him out on the Twitters or X or whatever it's called at GlassHalfUte. Josh, thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, I appreciate you. Good luck on Saturday, and let's enjoy another football season, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, cheers. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Go Bruins, right?
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruin.
That was a great interview, Mike. Good job. And we are
Cheers,
happy to have folks from Utah on the show to tell us how Utah is going to kick the living shit out of the Bruins. That's always fun. So, you know, after, you know, listening to that interview, talking to Josh, Mike, what are your thoughts on the matchup with Utah? Like, how are you feeling about this? Think it's going to be great, terrible, somewhere in between? What do you expect when you get there on the Rose Bowl? You're going to be at the Rose Bowl?
Yes, I will be there.
Up in the booth?
Yep.
Down on the field?
Yep. Down on the field pregame, postgame.
Good man.
Going to be asking Deshaun Foster the hard questions like, where'd you get your jacket?
Describe your perfect Sunday.
Yeah, right.
Deshaun, describe your Sunday.
What's Deshaun Foster like in the off season?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Anyways, Mike, thinking about this Utah team, how are you feeling about Devon Dampier?
He's definitely a one hell of a quarterback. Kind of looking at what he did last year. Check him out on the YouTubes. They give a lot of highlights for pretty much any college football player. Now you can find a lot of highlights. If you dig deep enough. But no, this is an impressive kid. And the thing that, as we said, especially during this interview, is that he comes along with the offensive coordinator. So there's a lot of connection right there. There's a lot of hive mind mentality. They know exactly what they want to do. But are they going to be able to get all that together, similar to what UCLA is doing? And it's weird how you hear about, oh, this team's going to have a bounce back. This team is going to have a bounce back, specifically because of this coach or this player, more specifically a quarterback. UCLA has the same thing, and not a lot of people are doing that. So I do think a lot of people are underestimating UCLA. But as we've said, as I've said many times, they just look different. Even in the limited amount that we've been able to watch them, they look completely different from what they did a year ago. And I think they're going to be able to move the ball a lot more effectively and surprise a lot of people that just. I think a lot of people just did not care to do research on UCLA.
You're looking for UCLA's offense to be able to make some hay against Utah's defense.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as far as UCLA's defense goes, do you think that they're up to the task? This could be, really, literally, this could be the best offensive line they play all year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
It probably isn't, but it very well could be.
Yeah.
We talk about, Penn State, Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they're up to the task to, at the very least, get in the way of what looks like it's going to be a pretty darn potent rushing attack?
I don't think they're going to be able to penetrate the line as much as they would like to, but I think they're going to put up a fight and show they're not going to back down. They're not going to be like, oh wow, these guys are huge and we should just go home. But as we see,
the Bruins got some big guys too.
Yeah, and they have a lot of young guys, and Deshaun Foster is keen on the guys that they brought in, especially from the edge. But then you have guys that are just holding down the middle of the line, like Siale Tupaki, our dude Gary Smith, and that's just up front.
We have an idea of how healthy or not healthy they are.
Very healthy, apparently. There hasn't been any major injury news, and guys that were apparently injured are ready to go.
That's what I want to hear,
specifically. I want to see Gary Smith just tear it up, Jay Toya style.
How about Keanu Williams?
He seems good to go, and that's very exciting for this team, which nobody seems to be talking about. It's like these guys were effective last year. They had their season cut short due to injuries or whatnot, but you're bringing back those three guys, Siale, Gary, and Keanu. And I think people are just really underestimating what UCLA has on the interior line. The edge is it's yet to be determined, but I think they're going to have at least enough activity to. I think they will be spastic, like our Arizona Sun Devils.
Oh my gosh!
I think they will be just crazy enough to spastic Arizona State team to make tackles go, what the hell's going on? I don't think they're going to be able to penetrate as well as we'd like to see, as we did with like Latu or Femi last year, the second half of last year. But I think they're going to be able to like just play with their minds, and just really keep them guessing.
Penetration in this particular game, like getting after the quarterback, may not be as important as it would be in other games because this quarterback seems like he is going to be much more part of the running attack, and then the passing seemingly coming as a bonus on top, right? Trying to get the one-on-one stuff going once you have wore the defense down with your running attack, and it's not just the backs running it, but it's the quarterback. That is where I'm like, if the Bruins are stout in the middle, if Keanu and Gary Smith and Siale Tabaki are what we think they can be, that's going to go a long way towards stymieing this Utah, or at least stalemating this Utah offense, which would be hugely important. Where less so than when you have a quarterback's driving back and it's going to be, trying to throw dimes back there all day long and not have happy feet and not trying to run at the first sign of trouble. That would be where you'd really need more penetration and, and edge pressure and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying that if the Bruins can generate no pressure, it doesn't matter, because it does. But I think it'll be less important in this particular game than it is in other games. And that's one way where I'm like, I really think that the interior of this Bruin defensive line is going to be a strength for them. And I'm hoping that shows up even against this really good Utah line. And if they show up and Utah is able to run the ball, I think they're going to be able to run the ball. But if they're not just running over the Bruins, I think that's a really good sign for the rest of the season regardless. I think we both feel this is going to be a close game, Mike. Even if we're picking the Bruins to win, that means Utah's going to have some victories out there on the field too. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing the Bruin defensive line compete with the Utah offensive line and not get completely trampled. And that'll be a very positive sign to me.
Yeah.
On the flip side, I want to see the Bruin offensive line do the same thing, right? They were miserable, or staying with the defense a little bit. If they can do that, then I think the Bruins will have a chance to limit Utah's scoring chances, keep them in that 20 to 30 point range. And now all of a sudden we have ourselves a ball game. If Utah is just running over the Bruins and running time off the clock and they get over 30 points and they have possessed the ball, I'm sure Whittingham's plan is to possess the ball for about 40 minutes of the stinking game. And if they do that, then it absolutely is going to be that for the Bruins. But if the Bruins can keep that even and we'll talk about the offense right now, then I think that they're going to be all right. The other part with the defense is I don't think that pressure is necessarily as important, but they really need to be able to contain this quarterback, Dan Pierre. And also, I watched some of the footage from him last year, and I kind of asked our guest, Josh, the same thing. And it's like you would see him, a lot of the offense that they're bringing straight over from New Mexico. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of the same plays are him, taking the snap and then faking like he's going to run, and then it's an RPO and he throws over the top or whatever. And then also a lot of like options with option pitches. And I'm just saying, Dan Pierre, he kind of like waits a long time to pitch that ball sometimes. He waits as long as I do when I'm playing NCAA football. You know what I do in NCAA football? When I wait a long time to pitch the ball on the option?
Chuck it downfield?
No, that fucking thing goes all over the place because I'm getting tackled as I'm trying to pitch it. And I remember like 4 or 5 plays at least from this guy last year when he's with New Mexico where he's getting tackled and the ball's coming out. You know, that works okay when you're playing Idaho State or Mountain West, but with, you know, major college football athletes, he's going to get hit. And the Bruins are good at hitting. You know, our wonderful defensive coordinator, he's pretty good at getting guys to hit too.
Yeah.
If they can rough this guy up a little bit, I think he's very prone to some turnovers. You know, not just the 12-12 interception touchdown ratio. I mean, he's going to cough up that ball a little bit because he kind of almost coughs up. Like he'll do these things with like these one-handed pitch fakes. If he's a little nervous or he gets hit a little, he's not expecting it, that ball's gone. So the Bruins need to generate turnovers in this, keep themselves in the game. They need to hold Utah to like around 20 points, 25 points or so. Yeah. And I think they'll be in this game. On offense, Mike, we have no fucking clue what they're going to do.
Exactly.
But we're hoping Nico's as advertised.
Yeah.
Utah is a big test for them. But but I don't think the Utah defense is the greatest Utah defense of all time.
No.
They're veteran. They're going to be good. They're going to be sound. But if UCLA, which had one of the worst offensive rushing attacks in the country last year, thank you, freaking Eric Fredo Bieniemy, that can't help but be better. And I'm hoping that the offensive line comes together and they can generate some running game. And then they got Nico Iamaleava. This is his time to shine. This is his debut. Yeah. I want a Brett Hundley-like debut, although they're not playing, you know, the Sisters of the Poor like Brett was.
Rice?
Are they playing Rice?
Rice Owls?
Yeah, they're not playing the Rice Owls. They're playing the Utah Utes. What is a Ute? But he can come out there, and if this offensive line, and I was worried about Utah being able to generate a lot of pressure, but it doesn't seem like they're sound, but it doesn't seem like that's their strength too. So
yeah,
as long as the line is okay, they should be able to protect him long enough for us to see if Nico can do some special things or not. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think both teams are going to see what they have going for them in the first half, obviously make the second half adjustments, but it just seems like this UCLA offense is kind of clicking faster than a team normally should. Now, I don't want to, I don't know
because we haven't seen them at all, Mike.
Exactly. That's why I don't want to put a lot of hopes into these predictions.
Hope
but
does spring eternal.
Yeah, but it just seems like there's definitely a sea change. There's simplicity. There's excitement. There's working with the players that you have rather than trying to force the players that you have to adapt a complicated calculus type of offense, which is 3 paragraphs long for one freaking play, Bieniemy.
Thanks, Fredo.
No. I think it's going to be much similar, broken, much easier. It's going to be broken down easier for the players, and it's just going to play to their strengths. And Tino Sunseri has the best hair in college football, so that's why they're going to beat Utah.
I think it's going to be a really fun game. I'm hoping for a really fun game. I usually, I absolutely respect Utah and the Utes, and I've seen way too many games where the Bruins
they beat the shit out of us, but I don't care.
And it kind of feels like, every time the Bruins have gotten over on the Utes in the last 10 years, has been some gimmicky bullshit. Like, their 8 running backs are all out, and their 4 quarterbacks are gone. So it's like the Bruins need to win this game. They need to win this game.
Utah brought a player out of retirement and he destroyed UCLA.
Yeah. But so it's like there's gonna be some exercising of demons here if they can beat this Utah team. But I am glad it's at the Rose Bowl. I think this is a great opportunity for a coming out party for what the Bruins have installed this year, and now it's up to them. Would I be surprised if they lose? No. Would I be surprised if they got their ass kicked? No, because how would I be surprised if they have a really great game and they win? Absolutely not. I won't be, because how could we be surprised by anything this team does? Because there's so many unknown things, but there are a lot of positive signs too. And so I think and I'm pretty sure Mike too, are going to choose to be optimistic until we have reason not to be optimistic. Is that a fair thing to say, Mikey?
Very much so.
With that being said, Mikey, what is your score prediction for this game, UCLA versus the Utes?
Oh my God, how am I not writing this down? I usually have this prepared. See, we're definitely in early season game mode. But anyway, What is my prediction? I think it's going to be close. And obviously, yes, I do think I've already predicted UCLA to win this, but to be more specific, let's say that I think UCLA will easily crack the 20-point mark.
Oh, God.
And win this 30-26. 30
to 26.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm
Go
thinking
Bruins, right?
3 touchdowns.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruin.
One by Jet, one by HUD, one by and 3 money bag field goals against whatever the hell Utah's doing. 30-26.
Sounds good.
Jake, what about you?
All right, my score is going to be 23 Utah, 25 UCLA.
Oh my!
And they're going to win in the fourth quarter, and it's going to be back and forth in a grindy game where there's a lot of clock run. And I think that the way it will play out is UCLA and their new quarterback coordinator combination will have fewer mistakes than the Utah quarterback coordinator combination. I think that guy, Dampier, he'll probably like run for a touchdown and pass for a touchdown, but also have like 2 fumbles and interception.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Nico will play clean and, have some nice plays for the Bruins. And it'll be a game where the clock is spinning. God, I hope so, for an 8:00 start. And it's a relatively short game.
Pac-12 after dark.
And the Bruins win a game where both teams want to possess the ball and grind it out. And we're just like, hey, this is a fun game, and the Bruins look good, and let's go. Tip your cap to Utah. Have a nice trip back to Salt Lake City, and let's get on with it. That's what I think.
Take that, buddy.
Yeah. All right, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
We have to put ourselves on a timer. We have to be quick. What's brewing with you? Okay.
All right, let's do it.
What's brewing with you? You ask me. What's brewing with me? Yeah. What's brewing with you? What's brewing with me? What's brewing with you?
Mikey, you got like 2 minutes. Let's go.
Oh, I'll be done in less than that when I can find my words. Yeah, no.
1 minute, 50 seconds, Mike.
I'm not a guy that got sick. And a lot of you know that I work in education. And even the beginning of the year, years ago, at the beginning of the year, I would get sick. Usually don't. Tolerance has gone up. I like it.
It's good.
Not this year, damn it.
Getting sick a lot?
Yeah, no, like last week, end of the first full week of school, just full on head cold. And it was because of this goddamn heat wave. Just going in from the hot air to the cold AC, I was just done. So, I had to have 3 full days of just like my face melting, and I went to the Rose Bowl on Saturday to check out their open practice,
Go Bruins,
if you will.
right? 4's up.
It was a weird practice, and considering that there's issues with letting media in, it is what it is. But
Wait, were there issues letting media into the open freaking practice too?
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later.
Oh my God. What are we doing?
But we got to see more than what we have the entire training camp. Crazy thing, it was like 95 degrees at the Rose Bowl. It was overcast, so we didn't have the sun beating down. But yet my sinuses were kind of like clearing up, but it was up and down. The whole thing is not to complain about the practice. It's to complain about the fact that I'm glad I got over this cold really early. I would have died if it was this coming weekend. Now I'm feeling healthy. I'm taking all the airborne in the world, baby. And I'm going to be ready to tell you and report anything and everything that happens at UCLA this Saturday, 8 p.m. at the Rose Bowl. I'll be there.
We'll
See
all
you
be
there.
there.
Jake,
Go
it's Bruin View.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruin.
Yeah.
That's good. Mike, just real quickly, and then the last week, Mike and I went to Eagles of Death Metal at the
Right, yeah.
at the Terragon Ballroom.
Uh-huh.
It's the second time I was there, and it was a great show. And I might go back next month because they're doing like a four date stop there.
What?
Right?
Really?
Yeah, it's been awesome. And they
nice.
mix up the set each time, and they have different guests come out. It's very cool. But at this time, the highlight of the night was when Jesse Hughes, the lead singer, aka Boots Electric, came off the stage, went to the balcony of the Terragram, which is opposite the stage.
Oh my!
Stood next to his mother, who was talking to throughout the show, sweet lady. And then
yeah,
he had a guitar battle with the lead guitarist currently of Eagles of Death Metal, Scott Shiflett. And so they'd go back and forth soloing, and it was really cool. So it was they're like 100 feet apart from each other, but they're like soloing back and forth. It was really rad. Oh, yeah. And of course, Scott Shiflett's a much better guitarist than Boots is, but Boots was able to hold his own for the thing. But this is really fun, and we got high fives as he went from the balcony back to the stage.
That's dope.
It was very cool. But on deck,
dude,
I may be going to a concert on September the 5th because if I can get the prices to go down, because stupid Axis screwed me again. But I want to go see Cage the Elephant, but right now the prices of those tickets are way out of control. I may go see Eagles of Death Metal again at the end of the month. I'm going to see one of my personal favorites, Marina, in October. I'm going to go see the Strokes on my birthday weekend in September.
They're playing?
Yeah, in Vegas. I did get tickets to that.
Yeah, okay,
I'm very happy. Although I got screwed by that Ticketmaster thing too.
Dude,
this month is out of control.
Dude, this month, what I'm trying to go to, Oasis, Underworld, 9 Inch Nails, freaking Pulp, LCD Sound System. Yeah. This month is insane.
It's insane. There's
what the hell? And we have football?
And we have football.
God damn it.
How are we going to do all this?
Because we're badass.
And I'm missing a couple more of these shows, but it's going to be hopefully a fun month and a half of football and concerts and all that stuff. And then I still have to make it out with you to go see the session thingy, the thingy.
He actually did do it this past Sunday, and funny enough, he did a Tears for Fears Taylor Swift. I was trying to go, didn't make it, but it's funny. Christian James Hand put on Facebook today. I would like to think that my Taylor Swift show on Sunday led to this marriage proposal. Oh God, I didn't want to talk about it, but here I am talking about it.
Talking about?
Yeah,
Kelsey
proposal. Yeah,
nice.
Good on them. Hey, they're happy.
Let's go T-Swizzle.
They're happy.
Good. All right. Anyways, Mike. So we'll see you at the Rose Bowl.
See you there.
Mike, next week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to do a post game for the show. It'll either come out Saturday night or Sunday morning. And please listen to that. And we appreciate your support. Then me and Mike will be back next week at some point to do another show, game that will be for Utah. And then for the next opponent is New Mexico.
UNLV?
No, UNLV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Hopefully, that following week, Mike will not have notifications on his phone, and he will not rattle the goddamn mic so much. Mike.
Yeah? Wait, what did I do? Okay, yes, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Mike, we've been doing this for 12 years. You've never had a problem rattling the mic, but you're so fired up for football season right now that you can't keep your hands.
You have no idea
off that mic stand. It's unbelievable. Mike is just over there. It's like, oh my God.
Oh man.
Settle down, big guy. All right. Thank you. So, Mike, thank you once again to our guest, Josh Bennet of the Utah Blockcast, powered by KFSO Sports. And guys, we'll see you at the Rose Bowl. I'm sure Leo's going to be there. Nancy, I hope you're there. I searched for somebody else is going to be there. Dave, I hope you're there. But Mike, until next time, hopefully next time we talk, we're going to be talking about a Bruin victory. But until next time, what do we say?
Go Bruins.
Good evening.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
That was the What's Bruin Show.
Oh my God.
Try us tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's got to be in or out, Mom. In or out. Well, I need the door closed.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Dude, Rob, we play some ball on the West Coast.
The final word is boob.